Winter Snowman acrylic painting. First, cover your canvas with light blue. You will need a dark blue and a white mixed together to create this color. If you would like a darker light blue, add more blue, and a lighter blue would be adding more white. When you're spreading this across your canvas, if it gets too heavy, you can always add a little water to your paint. This makes the paint spread more easily. Once the entire canvas is covered, flip the canvas to the side and paint the edges. Once we've painted in the light blue, we are going to let it dry for about 2 minutes. Once it's somewhat dry, we will come in with a brush that has this rounded tip. You can also use a smaller brush to do the outline for the snowman. I'm going to use my larger brush, but use the brush that is best for you when drawing a circle. I'm going just below, not too high at the top, but about the midsection of the canvas in the center, a little bit to the left. I'm going to draw a medium-sized circle with my brush. Starting at the edge of the lower portion of the snowman's head, draw a line coming out and curve it going slightly in. Do that to the other side as well. You need 2 curved lines coming down. Once you have your outline, you will take white paint onto your brush. You want to use the brush that has the curved edge, like this one, and I'm going to dab in that white. So I'm not going to paint in lines. I'm going to take a layer of white and just lightly tap it for the head and the body. This is going to be our first layer of white. So I'm going to do that to the head and the body. Once you finish the stippling with your curved brush, you can come in with a flat brush. This is the flat, larger brush, and paint the lower portion of your snowman white. Once that lower portion is painted, you can go back to the upper part of your snowman and paint another layer of white on top of the base layer you have added. This will need to be pure white. Make sure there's no blue in your brush or any other color. This needs to be a pure white paint. So once you finish the first layer, which is the stippling, you can come on top of that layer and add another coat of white using your flat, large brush. Using your brush that looks like a pencil, closer to the size of a pencil, we're going to be drawing in some lines for our scarf. I'm using red. You can use yellow, purple, green. I'm going to use red. Red's a nice Christmas color. It really pops against blue. I'm going to start at the side of my snowman and draw a line. And we'll stop about the upper portion of his body. I'll take another line and connect to the other side of the snowman and go down. And then drawing a line to connect those 2 lines just below. come up, around, close to the right, I'm going to draw a rectangle coming down, downward. So a line going down, another line to match it, and connect the line at the bottom. And drawing small lines at the bottom for the scarf. I will fill this scarf in using my paintbrush. If you'd like to use your bigger paintbrush to fill in the color, you can. I'm just sticking with the small, but you can use the bigger flat head brush to paint in the rest of that scarf. Taking your small brush, we're going to go directly to the center of that snowman's face, and we're going to start by drawing a line. Get a little water on that brush if it's hard to paint with it, but just go out and up. So you're going outward with a straight line, and you're going to, at that point, bring that line back down and connect with a line curving to let them meet together. This is your carrot nose. Go ahead and paint that nose orange inside and fill it in. And sometimes this can be opaque, which means see-through. So you can go back once it's dry and add another layer of orange, and we'll also add detail to that carrot nose once it's completely filled in. I mixed a little brown in my color to give it a little bit of a smokier orange color. I just added a little brown, and I'm painting on top of that with that smoky orange to give it some shadow and shading. Taking your small brush, dip red into white and make pink. Once that's mixed up, you will take a small amount and add a circle directly on the cheek of the snowman. I find stippling little tiny dots help apply this color lightly so that you don't apply too much. Sometimes a softer pink looks better than a brighter color. If you'd prefer a very bright pink, you can do that too. You want to do a little tiny circle. If the color is too bright and you want to make it a little lighter, just add a little white on top and that will soften the color. Taking your small brush again, add brown to your small brush, and you're going to start on the side of the snowman's arm, drawing a line coming all the way up to the top. At the very top of that line that you drew, you can draw a V shape or a line facing the snowman's head, almost like a hand going to pat a head. Just a straight line that's diagonal. And a small line on the side. An easy way to do that would be to draw a V, and then a line coming up from the V, and then another small V. On the other side, bring your line up and stop around the carrot nose, and that's when you'll branch off and do a V, and then you'll draw lines from outside of that V. This stick is looking as if the snowman is excited, looking into the air at snow falling down. Now take your small brush, make sure it's clean, and get black paint. You will paint 3 small circles in front. These can be buttons or lumps of coal. Once you've painted those buttons, go to the cheek, and you're going to paint a small curve right under that pink circle. You can make a smile, or if you would rather have a different facial expression for your snowman, like a circle would be surprise, or maybe a large smile would be a larger curve at the bottom, or even a smaller smile, you can make it a smaller curve. Go right above and in between the carrot, or right above the carrot, you will draw a circle. Now really it should be an oval, and I made that circle a little too big, and I went back and corrected it once it was dry, but you will need to draw 2 ovals with your paintbrush. And one will be smaller, the one closest to the right side will be a little bit smaller to show a different angle. Using your small brush, we are going to go in and add details, like a small white highlight for the eye and 2 white dots in the middle of the buttons. Once you've got your eye highlight and your button highlight, we're going to add highlight to the arms. I take a little white and add a little bit of brown to that, so it's not a bright white, and then you can outline the edge of the snowman's stick and the top of the snowman's stick to give a nice highlight. Once that highlight is done, we're going to go into add details on the scarf. I am adding 2 lines going across the scarf, and then 2 lines going downward just below the scarf. Now maybe you want to decorate this with polka dots or a zigzag line or a wavy line. How you choose to decorate his scarf is totally up to you. If you'd like to follow this design, I draw 2 lines on the long portion, the vertical portion, and then 2 lines on the horizontal portion of the snowman's scarf. And once that detail is in, you can add your snowflakes. You take your take your small brush, wash it off, get it nice and clean. We're going to add bright, fresh new white paint and fill in the circles all in the background for snow. Once you are finished with that step, don't forget to sign your name at the bottom with your initials or your name, and then your masterpiece. But finally, the very last step is just adding additional white to your snowman, correcting any mistakes. Like I made a little bit of a mistake on that eye, so now that those eyes are nice and dry, I can come in and change them to be what I want them to look like. I added an additional layer of white paint onto my snowman so it really pops. This is the time where you can fix mistakes, go in and add a little additional details. Coming in and just curving my eyes a little bit more. I wanted to change them up just a little bit, and I'm fixing that up, adding that detail. And at the very end is when you can dress up any mistakes, paint over anything that maybe was a mistake, and then you'll have your finished masterpiece.